I wanted to hit on something after I watched a video on digital trends the other day with Caleb Dennison, and he also brought on my buddy, Techno Dad, Chana, and they were talking about Dolby Atmos and how Dolby themselves are it's still the Wild West, really. There's not a lot of standardization going on, especially when it comes to Dolby Atmos yet. So I wanted to touch on that for a minute because it's almost 2024. The technology's there. It's just that the time and effort doesn't seem to be put in to make some implementations that I wish Dolby would do sooner rather than later. But the biggest thing that I want Dolby to focus on in 2024 and years to come is optimization. We all know COVID changed everything from the economy to businesses realizing that not everyone needs to be there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and that it can thrive still with people working remotely. But also it completely changed the entertainment industry. More and more people are investing into home theater nowadays than using that money for going to the movie theater a couple times a month or a few times a year, whatever, like they used to. And clearly, we all know that Dolby Atmos is king when it comes to home entertainment in an immersive audio format. So what I mean by saying that Dolby needs to consider optimizing their deliverables just a little bit better going forward, here's what I mean. Take Netflix, for example. They were actually one of the pioneers when it came to audio description. You know, that narrator that kind of describes the action for those who are visually impaired, right? They were the first one to implement that, and that's really cool. So since I live in the United States, you've got your English track that's usually in 5.1 or sometimes Dolby Atmos, and then you've got your audio description track. But beyond that, you've even got different languages to choose from: Spanish, French, German, Italian, what have you. So the implementation is already there to have delivery of several different audio tracks for those who are visually impaired or need to hear it in a different language. But going into 2024, there are so many more people who are investing in a home theater who have varying sizes of configurations. Maybe they just have a soundbar system that supports Dolby Atmos. Maybe they have a 5.1.2 setup or a 7.1.4 setup or even a 9.1.6 setup. Because currently there is only one deliverable when it comes to Dolby Atmos content. Yes, that is the whole concept behind Dolby Atmos and matrixing and being able to conform to whatever speaker layout you may have. Dolby Atmos should, in theory, conform to that and give you an immersive audio experience. But if you watch my channel and if you watch Technodad's channel, you'll know that that's not always the case. You have mixes that don't matrix properly with certain configurations. So what I hope that Dolby implements in the very near future is optimization for all those different configurations. Because just like being able to choose different languages, I should be able to choose different configurations for a Dolby Atmos setup. In the menu where you see your different sound options, where it says Dolby Atmos, maybe there should be a sub-menu that says 5.1.2, 7.1.4, 9.1.6, and even perhaps one that says optimized for Dolby Atmos soundbar systems, because even those are rendered out just a little bit differently than AVR systems. And then to take it a step further, because sometimes people watch their content on headphones, whether that be AirPods Pro or AirPods Max or some other type of pair of headphones that supports spatial audio. Even that has to be rendered differently than your standard AVR system, right? So I want to see all those different options to choose from. Now, granted, I know implementing this will also mean there will have to be more time taken in the mixing process, because if you are optimizing for headphones, soundbars, 5.1.2, 7.1.4, 9.1.6, that is 5 different options. That is 5 different mixes that need to happen by the mixing engineers. Yes, that's going to take more time. Yes, it's going to take more money. But when it comes to delivering audio content, that would be way easier than different video options, because video takes up so much more bandwidth than an audio track. Yes, it's more work, but that could also translate into more jobs. Take Skywalker Sound, for example. That campus is ginormous with multiple mixing studios and dubbing stages, etc. So a facility like that could have one particular show or movie that's coming out on Netflix, for example, again, and just in the interest of time, you could have 5 different dubbing stages mixing those 5 different Dolby Atmos versions simultaneously. You would have one sound editor kind of overseeing all the different mixes happening at once, just to make sure that one mix isn't superior to another. But needing to deliver 5 different Dolby Atmos mixes once a project is finished, that's going to demand so many more positions that need to be filled. Because I know there are plenty of people out there with audio engineering degrees that aren't really utilizing their degree, myself included. And since Dolby Atmos is now becoming more and more popular when it comes to music, that means there's also going to be a surge of music studios that are going to have full Dolby Atmos mixing stages. Dolby Atmos in the home has been around since 2016. That cropped up in certain AVRs. And because it was so brand new and so amazing and truly elevated the home movie watching experience, that everyone just kind of went along with the ride. But now what's coming to the surface is that it's not exactly a perfect technology, especially now that more and more people are investing in larger and larger and larger configurations. So going forward, I really hope that Dolby takes this into account, but it's going to take more time and effort. But again, going to the example of Netflix, before anything is released, the time is being taken to redub something in another language. The time is being taken to have a narrator do the audio description track. So that same effort needs to be applied to different Dolby Atmos mixes as well. I honestly don't think that's too much to ask. Do you? I mean, last year at CES 2023, DTS said that they are going to have an in-home immersive audio format that's coming to Disney Plus first. It's been almost a year and that still hasn't launched. So Dolby Atmos still is king, and I think they've been riding that wave for so long, so they think they can still just continue doing what they've been doing because there is no other competition. Maybe that's why DTS has been holding off, because they will have something similar to what I've been saying. They will have different configurations to choose from. Who knows? And if that happens, then Dolby will be scrambling to be like, oh, geez, well, they can't beat us, so we've got to start implementing that now. You know, I just feel like they've been on this high horse for so long that something is going to come along and it's just going to sweep the rug from underneath them, and they're going to be blindsided on what to do next to keep up with the competition now. Anywho, I just wanted to get that off my chest again after watching that video with Caleb Dennison and Techno Dad on digital trends. But it's just come to a point now where people are starting to notice. So just like people have the option of choosing whatever language they want to listen to something in with their streaming platforms, or streaming platforms in general, if you decide you want to subscribe to Paramount Plus or Hulu or Max or Disney Plus, you know, everybody has a choice nowadays. Everything is on demand. Everything is at your fingertips, whether that be on your mobile device or on a remote. So I want my audio to be as important as video. Like, for example, when Disney Plus came out with IMAX enhanced content, it was just the video portion, the aspect ratio, the quality of the video. It had nothing to do with the audio side of it. But then again, IMAX enhanced on the audio side of it has ties with DTS audio. So that's why competition is necessary. Competition breeds innovation. And in the end, we as consumers win. So if Dolby wants to stay ahead of the competition, I'm going to need to be able to choose a specific configuration so that I know I'm getting the best possible mix. Okay, so now it's your turn. This is obviously a discussion that I want to have. I want to ruffle some feathers. I want to make people think. So yeah, what are your thoughts about the whole situation? Do you have any ideas on what could be implemented fairly easily with future technologies? Because if you think about it, Dolby Atmos is only 8 years old when it comes to home audio. So it's still pretty young. So what would you like to see Dolby implement as well? Whew, yeah, all right. So please be kind to each other out there. Don't just watch TV and movies in Dolby Atmos. Experience them, hopefully in the best quality possible. And of course, always be listening